So for the next part, okay, here's what I would do. I would just use common sense, and it just sounds like a lot of random stuff, even though it's probably not. But for the sake of me getting through this fucking video, I'm just gonna put it in E minor and be done with it for the most part until we get up to the G and high E. And I'm gonna kind of do some chromatic-y thing, and then when we get anyways, let's go back. So you got to be good at this type of pattern. That's actually a really good exercise. So low E is going to be 2, 3, 5, again and again. So the first time you do it is going to be down, up, down. Second time you do it is going to be up, down, up. That's a great exercise. You know who's really good at that? Martin Golding. Anyways, here we go. And then from there, you can just kind of stay within the E minor area. I mean, there's options. There's options. You can go. That kind of business. So you can go, if you want, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. Then you can go 3, 5, 7. And then come back here and do 2, 3, 5. 3, 5, 7. When you get to this area, you're going to be doing 2, 4, 5. And then 4, 5, 7. Now here, I don't know, somewhere around this area. This is where you do a bit of, I'm going to call it pushing through the string, because you're going D. So here's the pattern, and it's a cheap pattern I made up, but it works fine because you're going chromatically, and that's all that matters. Start anywhere. So it's pull off. What is it? 5, 7, 4. And you down, up, right. Pull off, down, up. And you just go chromatically forever. And then you wherever you want, another higher note on the B string. Then you're into it. Hopefully that helped. This was so hard to make. I need a break. Let me quickly show you this chord because it's awesome. Take your first finger, go across this, which is the 7th fret. Take your pinky, put it on the D string 10th fret. Listen to this. Now every now and then you're going to take your middle finger and it's a nice picking exercise for your right hand as well, as opposed to a picking exercise for the fretting hand. Daddy needs a nap. You know the rest. Love you, peace out. Hello. So when I was in, I forget what grade I was in, I don't know, maybe 14, 15, I heard Gary Moore, End of the World, on the radio. And that was some mind-blowing shit. And of course, being the huge Eddie Van Halen fan that I was like, oh my God, there's someone as crazy, if not crazier than Eddie. What am I going to do? Oh, my world's in turmoil. They were playing End of the World on the radio, the solo and the song. And yeah, I went out probably that week and bought the album. And it was cool because I had a couple of friends at school that were into metal and metal guitar. So one guy hears something and then brings it to the table, then everybody else follows suit and buys stuff as well. So it was awesome. And Gary Moore, I was into Quarters of Power, Victims of the Future. I had my friend Dave Hull had We Want More, the live one, on album. This is back when vinyl was that was all there was, really. And yeah, you know, we played the shit out of those. And then I don't know, I just, like, I loved them and all, but I was getting more into Dawkins and Lynch stuff, and I was kind of wanting to go heavier with the music. And I mean, as soon as he went blues, I was out of there. I mean, he's a great blues player and all that. I'm not a huge fan of blues. I respect the players. I think there's some fucking absolute blues snobs, even worse than metal, to be honest. But whatever, to each his own. But yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, I was bummed when Gary Moore died. Totally bummed. I didn't cry, but you know, had I been drunk, I might have. But he was great. He was awesome. He's definitely an influence. You wouldn't be able to tell. Vivian Campbell was a pretty hardcore ripoff of Gary Moore. John Sykes did a bit of taking. I think the first time I saw Gary Moore play, I mean, I never saw him live, but you know, video-wise, would have been that Isle of Wight or some video. I don't know. He's wearing like the red leather jumpsuit, and it's just really trippy to see some of the way his left hand would finger things, which is what I wouldn't expect. But that's cool because he just did his own thing, and at that time, in the late '80s, he was like everybody's favorite guitar player. Like he was like the guitar player's guitar player, and everybody loved him, and rightly so. The guy was fucking badass. I would have loved to have met him at NAMM and give him a big hug or kiss him on his cheek. I wouldn't kiss him on his cheek, but you know what I'm saying. He's awesome. Gary Moore is awesome, and if you haven't gotten into his shit, you are totally missing out.